Hi you guys, if you want to learn how to make my easy and delicious stuffed chicken breast, stay tuned. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is put a little vegetable oil down in my pan here and sweat down some onions for just a few minutes until they're nice and tender. After about 3 minutes or so, your onions should look like this. They're nice and tender at this point. Now we're going to go ahead and throw in some mushrooms. I love mushrooms. I told you guys in a previous video that I do not like when my onions are raw. I love it when they're cooked down. The same thing with mushrooms. I love mushrooms, but only when they're cooked. I do not like raw mushrooms. But so we're going to cook them down, and you guys see how nice and tender they are. Now we're going to go ahead and throw in some spinach, and I know it looks like a lot of spinach, but you guys, spinach cooks down to literally nothing. So we're going to go ahead and put our spinach in and toss them around until it becomes nice and wilted like this. We're going to add in a little bit more spinach and continue to cook it down. After about 2 to 3 minutes or so, this is how our filling is looking. We're going to go ahead and season it with a little bit of salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and minced garlic. Cook it down for another minute or so, and that is our filling. We're going to pull it off the heat and set it to the side until we are ready to use it. So now we're going to move on to our chicken breast. I have 3 large boneless, skinless chicken breasts, and I'm just using a knife to create a pocket inside of that chicken, just like so. You don't want to pierce all the way through because your filling is just going to spill through the other side. So you just want to create a nice pocket to hold your filling. Alright, so now that we're done creating our pockets, we're going to go ahead and season our chicken breast simply with some salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and also some Sazonador total seasoning. And I have used that seasoning on my channel before, you guys, and it's really good. So we're going to season both sides of our chicken as well as the inside of the chicken. And you definitely could take away or add more seasonings if you would like. I just use these seasonings because they taste really well together, but you can definitely add in more, like rosemary, thyme, oregano, basil, just whatever you like that you know that pairs really well together. And while we're seasoning, this subscriber shout out goes to my mom, Miss Evelina Mazan. Thank you so much for supporting me and for teaching me how to cook when I was younger. I get a lot of what I do here on my channel from you. So thank you so much. I love you and I appreciate you so much. So now that we have our chicken breast nicely seasoned, we're going to go ahead and stuff it with our filling. Quick tip, you guys, I put a little bit of the filling aside just in case I didn't use all of it. I didn't want to risk cross-contaminating my filling by touching the raw chicken and then touching the filling. So I did leave some to the side just in case I wasn't able to use all of it, and I could use it for something else like an omelet the next morning, which would be really good. So once I'm done stuffing my chicken with as much filling as I possibly can, we're going to go ahead and move on to the stove. Put a little bit more vegetable oil down, not too much, and then sear our chicken. We're going to sear it on both sides for a few minutes. We're not going to cook it all the way through on top of the stove. We're going to actually pop this into a 375-degree oven for approximately 20 minutes. You definitely want to gauge based on the thickness of your chicken. So these are pretty thick, so I did leave them in for about 20 to 25 minutes. So this is how it looks once it comes out of the oven. We're going to go ahead and remove it from our pan, just like so. And the liquid you see at the bottom, we are definitely not discarding that because that is packed full of flavor. So we're going to let that reduce for about a minute or two, and then we're going to add in 1 tablespoon of butter. And we're going to add in about maybe a cup to a cup and a half of heavy cream. This is going to give our sauce some body and some richness. We're going to go ahead and give that a good stir. And we're also going to add in some chicken stock. I added in maybe 3/4 of a cup of chicken stock. go ahead and add that in. And of course, adding the stock is just going to give our sauce more flavor, bump up that chicken flavor a little bit more. We're going to bring that into a simmer, and then now we're going to go ahead and season it with the same seasonings that we used on our chicken earlier: the salt, the pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, and that total Sazonador seasoning. Of course, give it a good stir. And of course, what we always do on this channel, we taste as we go. We're going to taste our sauce to make sure that it doesn't need any additional seasoning. And then we're going to go ahead and add in our chicken breast so it can simmer in this delicious sauce. I let it simmer for a good 5 to 7 minutes. All right, so it is looking absolutely delicious at this point. Now we're going to go ahead and start basting our chicken. Oh my goodness, you guys, it looks so good. After a few more minutes, we're going to go ahead and baste again. So now you see that the sauce has thickened a little bit. Y'all, that looks absolutely delicious. So now our chicken is done. I'm going to finish with a little bit of parsley, and then we're going to go ahead and plate. I just had to take a moment of silence while those clips played because I literally don't have the words, y'all. This dinner was so delicious, y'all. I served it over some homemade mashed potatoes. You guys have seen me make mashed potatoes before on my channel. I will link that video in the description below. But y'all, the chicken was absolutely delicious. It was nice and moist. The filling was just absolutely delicious, and that sauce is the star of the show. It just brought everything together. Super unctuous, super delicious. You guys have to give this recipe a try. I hope you love it just as much as me and my family did, y'all. They tore this dish up. You hear me? Even my 3-year-old, she loved the chicken, y'all. It was super delicious. Thank you guys so much for clicking on this video and watching. I appreciate every last one of you as always. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you would love to see more from me in the future. Once again, I love y'all and I thank y'all so much for watching. I will see y'all on the next one. Until then, bye.